My name is Jenna Bierman. I'm a patient care technician at Carroll Hospital Center in the critical care department. COVID-19 was something that I never thought would happen in my career or my lifetime. It was very difficult to go from caring for patients to the full extent to being so overloaded with patients and very sick patients. These patients aren't allowed to see their families, and it's constant FaceTime calls with these families, and it was devastating for sure. I am now an advocate for these patients and their families. You are there for them. So a big thing that changed throughout the pandemic was that we were their friend. We are their support. They don't get to see their families or talk to their families. All they have is us. So that was a big change. Caregivers and nurses, they are right there at the bedside, but now they're at the bedside in this isolated room where they aren't allowed to leave, they aren't allowed to see their families or loved ones, and you become that for them. So that changed a lot for us. Of course, there's many difficult things that tie in with our position at the hospital, especially with COVID, but I would have to say, for me personally, the most difficult part is doing the FaceTimes, especially if you have a patient who's quite young and their children are on FaceTime and they're just saying, "Mommy, Daddy, come home," That's probably the hardest part. We don't get to see many patients in the critical care unit make it out, unfortunately. Our bad days are worse than our good days. We have way more of the bad days. However, we have patients like Brett Whalen who do incredible, and I always say every day when we have someone who recovers and gets out of our unit, I'm like, every bad day is worth this moment. To be able to see somebody get better and go home and be with their families and then to reunite with them is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever had in my career. I've actually had patients who have said, I've seen them laying there on their belly with a mask on the verge of being intubated, and they say, "I swear, as soon as I get out of this place, I'm getting vaccinated." It's just like, it's too late now. Like, now you're going to be intubated. You're going to be, this is going to be a long road. I've heard so many times people wish that they have got the vaccine. And we have had patients who have recovered, trached, pegged, have gone to rehab, and they got the vaccine as soon as they could. Because those patients, if they got COVID again, they had too much damage to the lungs, and they just wouldn't do well if they got COVID again. So, a lot of people do realize towards the end of things, when they are really sick to that point, they're like, I wish that I would have done this. And the families too, they say, I'm getting vaccinated as soon as I can, because they hate seeing their families like this. When it hits home, things change for sure.